Have me go over there and pronounce all the names of the wrestlers with my Philly accent, and they'll hire you back instantly. I can save your job, kid. I don't know why this guy won Scorched Earth, except for the fact that he was trying to be a very loyal New Japan Pro Wrestling employee. Basically, he was putting the company over, putting that product over. Of course, he had to tell a lot of truths. I mean, the Money Mark thing and the thing that the Continental Classic, I know that that was probably a spinoff or a recreation of the G1 Climax because they're equally as confusing sometimes to a casual fan. So trying to pay attention to this. And then basically he said AEW done is take talent and done nothing they haven't already achieved in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I would argue that they diminish the value of the wrestlers. Okada is one. Okada's finally showing with that match he had against Will Ospreay what he was meant to do from day one. But, sorry, bitches, that's all he's been doing. And somehow getting more of a crowd reaction than his standard Rainmaker stuff. It's like two different characters in one, you know what I mean? And confuses the fans. I don't know what this guy was thinking, unless he was tired of flying over to Japan and he goes, all right, I'm just going to go out. I'm going to go for it right now. That could be a very real thing. Hey, if you want a commentator to get fired after his first match, this guy, Chris Charlton, so you don't feel bad, have me go over there and pronounce all the names of the wrestlers with my Philly accent, and they'll hire you back instantly. I can save your job, kid. But we don't just have that. You have a quote from resident New Japan Pro Wrestling expert, an AEW employee.
Yes, you can't be using those podcast grifter terms, says podcast grifter Dave Meltzer.
Please read that again. I talked over you. That's
oh no, it said you can't be using those podcast grifter terms. That's a quote. Says podcast grifter Dave Meltzer. That is just such terrible judgment. Me with my Philly accent. Meltzer later confirmed that Takaki Kadani, the director of New Japan Pro Wrestling's parent company Bushiroad, was furious at the English commentary, but mostly Charlton, for trashing their business partners when in reality there is no rivalry between the two companies and they both enjoy working together. Quote again, I don't think either Kadani or Tony Khan is happy that people in both companies have taken sides and made this issue very big, and I don't think they want that, Meltzer guessed. That's interesting. Okay, right. Tony Khan is a money mark. And Dave Meltzer was like, well, he can't be a money mark because he's making money. And it's like, well, yes, the company was losing money for 5.5 years straight before the company made money again. But money mark isn't exactly... I mean, you have to be a money mark, don't you, to invest in trying to compete with WWE. I don't think money mark in this sense should really be a pejorative term because, I mean, you need to have a lot of money and you need to spend a lot of money to even have a hope of doing it. And you better love wrestling as well.
Well, I totally agree with that. You're going to have to take a loss and you're going to have to take it with a smile. And Tony Khan takes those losses with a smile. Yeah. And hopefully it can make the money back because our goal here, as I always say, is the talent. Make sure the talent makes as much money as possible for as long as possible and has a very safe career, which I'm number 3 is not going to happen in AEW. But Meltzer, I got to stay on this point. He literally says that nothing more than a fan who just looked at it or read one of the wrestling news sites and really analyzes and breaks it down. He doesn't say, of course, Tony Khan and this other guy's not going to be happy. I don't think he can't even 100% definitively say there's no way they can be happy, or the fact he acts like he does not speak to Tony Khan almost every day and knows Tony Khan is MFing this kid. I don't know. Like I said, I may stand by my original theory that this guy was like, I don't want to do this travel anymore back and forth to Japan. Let me just shoot my shot and get out of there. Maybe I can get a job somewhere else based on controversy alone.
Tony Schiavone posted and then deleted on Twitter. This is the quote. Hey, Chris Charlton, speaking for all of us in AEW GFY, which is go F yourself, I believe, and speaking for all of us who have been around you, take a shower once in a while. See, Schiavone goes scorched earth as well. I mean, I've always liked Tony.
I like Tony. He ruined my childhood with that Blue Chew ad.
The Undertaker didn't?
What's that?
And the Undertaker didn't?
Scooby-Doo. No, the Granny cameo and the Scooby-Doo cameo and stuff like that.
No, he was doing Blue Chew as well. Have you not
Are you serious? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So all your favorite wrestling
Are you gonna
personalities
say-
can't get hard on.
You'll-
How does that make you
wait.
feel?
But let me see if I can guess the Undertaker's ad read. You can send this to him and clip it. Anybody, I know you'll snitch it anyway. All right, let me see if I can do it in the Undertaker voice. With Blue Chew. It sounds like Shane a little bit. This is Stevie Richards doing. This is Stevie Richards / Johnny Ace doing an Undertaker impression, just for everybody out there. Let me see. With Blue Chew, you'll never rest in peace. That would be great. That's actually a good ad read.
So I was
If you didn't
written
do
down.
that, Taker, you'll leave him money on the table, man.
I wrote Rise from the Dead. Kane. Something about burying your cock alive or something like that. I guess I don't know.
Yeah. Well, how about this? Yeah, right. The Inferno match gives a whole new term, but also at the same time, have Glenn do it with Katie Vick. A Blue Chew ad. There you go.
Triple H makes a cameo. I screwed your brains out. We should watch that.
The genius mind of Vince McMahon. Somehow Russo probably got blamed for that segment too, even though it was 12 years after he was gone.
Rightly so. Rightly
Yes.
so. And it was.
Well,
it was
Katie
2 years.
wasn't on a pole. The coffin wasn't on a pole, so there you go.
Oh man, I remember even watching that at the time and just thinking this is awful. And I was 16. I was 15, 16. I was the target market then, and I was like, oh. Anyway, let's move on.